And of course, meeting Arnold Schwarzenegger, like what could inspire you more than that? So I was like, okay, let's get in shape for a bodybuilding competition. Hello, all you beautiful people, and welcome back to One You, the podcast where I talk about all things related to living your best life in a healthy, strong, and confident body, and everything that is related to that. I want to encourage, inspire, and help all of you out there to live a happy, healthy, and active life. So remember, whatever dream you have, go after it. You only have one life. You only have one you. So make sure to live a life that you really enjoy and a life that you will remember. So today I'm actually going to talk about how my fitness journey started. People always think that I've always been this fit and like this healthy, and it's actually not the case. So I usually say that I have been going from active in my young years to like teenage chubby to like celiac skinny. I'll explain more about that later. And then CrossFit fit, Olympic weightlifting bulky, and then bodybuilding or bikini fit. So that's actually my journey. So I've been through like all of these different stages throughout my fitness journey, and it's been interesting, let's say. It's been I've learned so much from all of the different phases in my life, and that's why I also are able to help more of like a variety of people, because I've not always been this fit, or I've not always been one way. I've actually been like in different like bodies, or I've been in different shapes, sizes, and I felt like healthy and unhealthy, and I felt good about myself and the body that I have, and I felt uncomfortable because of different reasons. So I can really relate to not all of you out there. I could never say that I can relate to all of you, because we're all so different, but I can relate to a lot of different people just because I have been through different phases of my life myself. So let's start from the beginning. When I was younger, I was pretty active. I played soccer and handball growing up, and that was really fun. I loved it so much. The only thing that I didn't really like was the fact that it was a team sport. And don't get me wrong here, because I do love team sports and I love the team, like helping each other out and like the practices and all that. What I didn't really like was the competition, like when you had to go to the game, like play a soccer game, for example. Because the reason to that was that I didn't want to let my teammates down. I put so much pressure on myself because I was worried that I was going to let all the other girls down in the team. And that's something I didn't want to do. So that's why I didn't really like it. And I've learned now that I shouldn't have felt that way, but that was just like something that I always like put that pressure on myself, because I always wanted to do my best, and I always wanted to do my best in order for like the team to actually do good. So yeah, but other than that, I really loved it, and I was active until my teenage years with soccer and handball, and I actually did figure skating for a while. I always wanted to do ice hockey, but from a really small town, so they never let us, or they didn't let us play as girls when I was growing up. Luckily nowadays my cousin is actually playing, and she is a badass. I'm so proud of her. That's so cool. I love that she plays ice hockey, and she's a real inspiration for sure. Shout out to you, Tilda. I love that you're playing ice hockey. Side note. But so when I got into my teenage years, around like 13, 14, maybe 15 actually, I stopped playing soccer because I was focusing more on school, and that made me gain some weight because I was not as active anymore as I used to be, and I still ate the same amount and maybe a little bit more, I don't know, plus all the hormones that goes into like getting into puberty and all that. So I gained a little bit of weight. Not that I was like thinking about it at the time, but looking back, you can tell. So I was still like happy about my body and how what I looked like and all that. But a couple of years after that, I started to lose weight, and I didn't know what was wrong with me. I just like kept losing weight, and I had this like stomach ache all the time, and I felt so tired. I had brain fog. I couldn't really think clearly. And I still ate so much food, and I was like, why am I losing weight and I'm eating this much food? Doesn't make sense. So I went to the doctors. The doctors took like a ton of different tests, and they were like, nothing's wrong with you. You're fine. You're healthy. And I was like, I don't feel healthy. And my mom was saying the same. She was like, I can see that she's not healthy. She's not herself. So I did my own research, and I was like, oh, it's probably celiac disease. I'm probably allergic to gluten. And I asked them, and they were like, no, you don't have the like most regular symptoms for that. So we don't think it's celiac disease. So we're not going to take that test. And I was like, okay, well, but something is clearly wrong. So can you guys help me, please? It still took some more time before I got the diagnosis celiac disease. And before that, I had lost about 22 pounds, I think, 10 kilos. That was my lightest ever, down at like 52 kilos, which is about maybe 114, 115 pounds. I was so skinny at the time because I'm 5'6" and a half, 168 and a half centimeters. So that was like really skinny for me. I also got throat infections and ear infections, and I was sick all the time. And that's when the doctors finally took the test, and they diagnosed me with celiac disease. And I got to do this coloscopy when they go down with a tube down to like small intestines through your throat. That was horrible, but yeah, I got my diagnosis, and I could start treating my celiac disease with like taking out all the gluten from my diet, and I started to feel so much better. But it still took me like years before my intestine really healed and I felt better, and I started to put on some more like weight again. So it took time for sure. But after that, like during the same time or about the same time, I was like, oh my God, I want to like start put on some muscles now. I felt so skinny, so I was like, I want to do something in order to feel like my body is stronger. So I started to go to the gym. I started to join these like Les Mills classes, body pump and body combat and all that. And I loved it. And I also had a friend that and we went to the gym and we did like CrossFit leg workouts. And yeah, we had so much fun. We were at the gym like 6 a.m. in the morning, every morning during the week, Monday through Friday. And we had a blast. That was a great time. That was also the time when I was like, oh my God, I think I really would want to be in the fitness industry. I would want to be a personal trainer because I would really want to inspire and help other people to start working out and like feel good about themselves and like feel good about their body and feel strong and confident. So I decided to get my personal trainer license through Eleiko in Sweden. Shout out to Eleiko. It was a great education. So much fun. And that's also what got me into my next phase, which was CrossFit. So I started doing CrossFit and I absolutely loved it. And I got more and more fit and stronger and more muscular. And I absolutely loved everything about it. And it was so much fun. That was also when I moved up to Stockholm to live there and work there. I didn't work as a personal trainer at the time, but I I did CrossFit, and I helped some friends with training and inspired and motivated them and so on. And a year later, I decided to move to LA. So I moved there, kept doing CrossFit, kept going. Like, I started going to the track when I moved there. It was so much fun. And I lifted weights at the UCLA gym, and it was a blast. I definitely loved those like days, early mornings, going to the track, and after that, going to the gym. I had a workout partner that I used to go to the track and then to the gym with, and we had so much fun. And after a while, I found a CrossFit gym, and it was so crazy. So I biked for 45 minutes to get to the CrossFit gym, worked out, and biked back home again. So I did like 90 minutes of biking every day and then an hour of CrossFit. So that was a lot of moving my body. And some days I also went to the track in the afternoon to do some like sprints and stuff. So yeah, that was when I was my most fit, right before starting Olympic weightlifting. So I did that for about like a year, I think, maybe a little bit less. And then I got into Olympic weightlifting because I really loved snatch and clean and jerk. And I found Venice Barbell Club, which was an Olympic lifting place down in Venice. And started to lift more. I got stronger. I did some competitions, and it was so much fun. I think I did 4. I placed first in 2 of them, second in 1 of them, and the 4th one I didn't place that well. I don't remember what I placed, but it was so many strong girls in that time. So that was my first 2 years at UCLA, and I also worked as a personal trainer at the UCLA student gym. And that was a blast for sure. I was fully booked with clients. I couldn't do more than, I don't really remember, but I think they only allowed us to do 15 hours a week or something like that. And I think I was fully booked the entire time I worked there. It was amazing. It was so much fun. When I was done with that certificate, the fitness instruction certificate, I started my working visa year, and I got the job to transform Mackenzie Davis for the Terminator movie, to get her to look badass as Grace. We got her some real good looking strong arms, and yeah, a badass body. So that was 2018. The summer, I was there from June until November. We were in Madrid and Budapest. And during that time, I still did a mix of CrossFit and Olympic lifting. But doing that movie and doing that transformation really got me inspired to get in shape to do a bodybuilding competition. And of course, meeting Arnold Schwarzenegger, like, what could inspire you more than that? So I was like, okay, let's get in shape for a bodybuilding competition. So I reached out to a guy that I knew did bodybuilding competitions in the US, and I asked him, and he was like, oh yeah, I know a guy, you should definitely reach out to him, Mike Sable. So I reached out to him, and we met up, and he was like, yeah, let's do this. You should do a figure. Let's start training. So that was in end of January 2019. And we decided on a show June 2019. So I was like, okay, let's do it. So we trained 3 days a week. I trained 3 days a week by myself, and it was tough, but it was so much fun. It was so much fun. I really, really loved the process. So that's when I got from Olympic weightlifting bulky to, I looked great at the time as well. Like, I wasn't fat or anything. I was just a little bit more like bulky, and I was 10 kilos heavier, or more actually. I started at 70 kilos when I started my prep, and I ended up at, this is like stage weight was 55 kilos, but probably around 58. So I lost about 12 kilos during that time. So that's why it's such a huge change if you look at pictures. So that's when I went from like being a little bit more bulky looking to bikini, stage, lean. So that was a fun process and a different process, something I had never done before, even though like I went from like, yeah, because honestly, I haven't really done anything earlier because I went from like teenage chubby to skinny just because I got the celiac disease. So that's nothing that I could like do anything about. And it wasn't on purpose that I actually lost weight. And then when I went from skinny to fit, like that was the CrossFit part. And it was mainly just working out. I didn't really know anything about like gaining muscles, or I was just like doing whatever they told us at the CrossFit class. And it was so much fun. And then going from more of the CrossFit fit to Olympic weightlifting bulky was more that I wasn't doing as much cardio and I wasn't moving as much because I was driving to the gym and not biking to the gym as earlier. And the Olympic lifting doesn't include as much like quote unquote cardio as CrossFit does. So that's when I gained some weight. And I was also like, I wanted to gain weight because I wanted to be stronger. I didn't want to like gain a lot of weight, but you know, gain muscle mass and get stronger. And I competed in the 69 kilo class. So I had to be around 69, 70 kilos. So, and then going from Olympic weightlifting bulky to bikini fitness stage ready, that was more of a process where I was like all involved and I knew exactly what I was doing and everything had more of like purpose maybe, or not a purpose. Yeah, a purpose, like where I actually, I needed to eat a certain way. I needed to do cardio. I needed to train a certain way. And I knew what I needed to do in order to get to the stage. So that was really fun. And that's why I fell in love with that process. And that's why I still do it. And I just love doing it. And I can't stop right now. So I thought for a while that I wasn't really into it anymore. And that maybe that was like, it was only like a 1-time or 2-time thing because I did 2 competition 2019. And then when 2020, when all the shows were canceled, I was like, maybe this isn't for me anymore. I don't know. But stepping on to the Olympia stage, that was when like that somehow lit a fire within me again, that this is definitely what I want to do. This is what I love to do. I love to train. I love to sculpt my body to look the way I want it to look and the way that I imagine it to look. So doing that with training, good healthy nutrition combined with cardio, because I rather do a little bit more cardio and eat more food because I love food. So that's how I approach it for me, and that's what works best for me. That's like, I just love the process. So if this inspires you to like make a change, do something different, try something of this, let me know. Either reach out to me over on Instagram at Holmberg Josefine, DM me, let's go, or email me at josephineholmberg1@gmail.com. Let's go. And let's talk about your goals. Let's talk about how I can help you, because that's what I really, really, really love to do. I love to help, and I love to inspire, motivate, and get you the results you're looking for, because you're so worth it. You're like, I want you to feel confident, strong, and love the body you're in. Because remember, you only have one life. You only have one you. So make sure to take care of yourself. Love you all, and I'll talk to you guys again very soon.